Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the WTF1 podcast, the final edition of the 2019 season for races, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Here we are. We've got more drinks than
ever before.
3 drinks. They're all water, we promise. And today, Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Yas Marina Circuit. Your name is?
Tommy.
Your name is?
Jess.
My name is? Matt. Cool. Let's go straight into some 3-word race reviews. Formula1.home says, "Are you crying?" NASA 96. Show midfield, please. Come on. I guess it says supercalifragilistic, but with an X in it. Actually fell asleep, and Mr. Bean Master Ted. Goodbye, Nico Hulkenberg. Yeah.
I mean, that's a very kind of to the point.
So, are you crying?
Review.
Wasn't racing. Show midfield wasn't about the racing. Actually fell asleep. That's not about the racing. And goodbye, Nico. That basically sums up that the racing was diabolical. Is that a fair assessment?
I don't think it was as bad.
It wasn't French Grand Prix bad.
No.
Which I think someone asked that, actually.
Yeah, we'll get on to that.
Okay.
Get on to that. Let's follow the sheik.
Okay.
But yeah, I think without Bottas at the back, maybe it would have felt even worse, purely because we had that slightly manufactured bit of racing, didn't we?
Yeah,
Bottas
Abu
at the back.
Dhabi need to have a Mercedes at the back because they've dominated that race for the last 5 years now.
Yep.
Front row lockout
I actually saw
every
you
year.
put out an Instagram thing about changing the layout potentially. I don't think that's really going to do anything, if I'm honest.
No.
I pressed yes, but that was more just out of
hope
that if we do change something, maybe it will get good. But yeah, there's something fundamentally wrong with the combination of the cars at the moment and the track. Right?
And it's called Sector 3.
Cheeky. Too slow, isn't it? Right,
Yep.
Jess, let's go on to your 3-word race review, which had something to do with Bottas.
Tommy's a wizard.
Tommy's a wizard. And this
Yeah.
was from that time when?
Yeah.
So yeah, one of our eagle-eared. Can you say eagle-eared?
Eagle-eared, why not?
Eagle-eared.
Do eagles have good ears?
Eagles do have good hearing.
I thought you were saying, do eagles have ears? I'm pretty sure.
They do. They
Right,
do.
yes, carry on.
Well, are they technically called ears because they're not out external to their?
It's the end of the season, as you can tell.
Can you tell the race
Divulging
wasn't that
from
great?
Formula One.
Divulging from
Diverging.
Oh my god, this is going to be.
Diversifying. Right, why is Tommy a wizard?
Because if you listen to our other podcast series, That Time When, we spoke about the 2010 season finale in our previous episodes. And in that, we discussed, or Tommy said, imagine if Abu Dhabi didn't have DRS.
Yeah,
Well done, Tommy.
shout out to Will Longman, which is Will LF1.
That's Will Longman.
Yeah.
Okay.
who tweeted us this because I'd completely forgotten about it. But we had a discussion about the 2010 race, and I think we were all like, "Oh, imagine what Abu Dhabi would be like with no DRS." And then it happened.
And
We called it again, a bit like Monza when we had the chat about the random World Touring Car streaming race, and that happened as well. So we've got a gift.
Seriously, can we do some lottery numbers?
Yeah.
Do you think? But they all have to be like F1 related numbers, I think, for this to
like
actually
44 and
I think as soon
33.
as we force it, we lose the gift.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We have to somehow
pretend.
capture it.
We just
at the moment.
we'll just have
that's going to happen. That
yeah.
it's going to be something that you say. That's going to happen.
Tommy is the
Okay.
oracle.
We'll be listening today.
I'll throw something
See
random.
Anything in the future.
I'll throw something random in the middle of this podcast.
Yeah, but don't force it.
I won't force it.
Right.
But we had a technical difficulty, didn't we? Midway, very early on in the race.
Yeah, very
Yes.
early on.
Because it said it was enabled in the second lap or third lap.
Third lap. Yeah.
And then it just kind of went away. But interestingly, eagle-eyed viewers, and that is the correct use of the phrase,
It is.
would have spotted that some cars did have DRS, but some didn't. And it was to do with the
What they
couldn't
use
monitor
it.
it. Well, no, because the DRS was open,
Oh, okay.
but I think that they then turned it off for everyone because they couldn't
Yeah.
detect it. They couldn't
Stop, this
monitor
isn't
it.
fair.
Yeah. So
Okay,
they were just like,
interesting.
okay, it's off for everybody because we can't seem to see.
I think the biggest, I saw more than a few tweets that were saying, oh, this is Ross Brawn that's disabled it. Just have a little cheeky test for 2021 to see if it's worth it or not.
I mean,
if-
it's a completely stupid test to do because the cars will be completely different in
Exactly.
2021.
And
so
Abu Dhabi, of all the places to turn it off, you do not want to do it
let's
at Abu
make sure
Dhabi.
that no one watches 2020. Let's turn off DRS.
Well, actually, I didn't mind it.
Before we go into why you didn't mind it,
sorry.
Valku15 says, was the racing without the DRS better or worse? Jess, carry on.
I mean, I think it was overall worse, but it was good. I mean, we mentioned Bottas. it was good to see drivers having to use their driver head rather than, I know I'm going to get DRS down this next sector and I'm just going to get him. The other guy doesn't
have a chance, yeah.
So they were having to be a bit more planned in their approach when they were looking to overtake because they didn't have any assist. And we also, we don't get stuck behind DRS trains where we just know that it's not going to help anybody and we're just going to get stuck racing. So it was, for me, it was good to be able to see pure driving skill rather than it being down
it was nice that they were the overtakes that we did see. I'd argue the racing that we did see was better, but there wasn't a lot of it because of the DRS.
Yeah, which is exactly what it was like back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And the whole reason why it's introduced.
Yeah, but it is nice to see, Bottas, when he was coming through the field, he had to outbrake people. He wasn't already halfway past them down the straight. Yeah. He had to make a lunge.
And I think it depends on each circuit, really. Some circuits do need DRS, some circuits don't. And I think Abu Dhabi is one of those with that straight that you don't particularly need it. Whereas Hungary or someone like, or Spain, for example, I think you definitely do need DRS there. We don't see any overtakes even with DRS around Spain. But the one thing I found really interesting was when Hulkenberg had stayed out.
Yeah.
And I know you mentioned about DRS trains, but that was a slipstream train because it's even more difficult to get past Hulkenberg. And so you had the front teams not pitting because Hulkenberg was staying out. And that kind of had that whole new element of strategy where the teams were having to push further and further and further into the race. And then obviously DRS got enabled and they all flew through.
It was actually, you're right. It threw strategy a bit crazy because people had planned for DRS and been able to get through the field. And then some people were like, oh, well, DRS is now not happening, so it's going to be a lot harder to overtake. So they'd essentially changed their strategy a bit. So that was really interesting.
Yeah. And it did smell a little bit like the 2010 finale that we spoke about.
How funny that it was a Renault again. They were a step behind.
You made some memes about that, didn't you, Tommy?
Vitaly Petrov.
Good old Petrov. So we mentioned about Bottas's fight through the field. I thought it was quite a good fight through the field. Obviously he's in the best car, and Hamilton displayed that out in front. But I think that especially without the use of DRS, he made some moves. He was a little bit more feisty than he was in Brazil. That's for sure.
Especially in free practice one.
Oh, savage. Maybe he was testing his overtaking.
Having a little
but
practice.
A lot of people. I mean, this is the thing. So you've got a question here from @I'm_Walshy. Asking if Hamilton was starting in the back, would he have gotten through the field quicker than Bottas did with no DRS? But I guess this is the whole thing of you can say what ifs about any scenario because Bottas had his second brand new power unit. He was geared up for he was basically at quali spec for the entire race. So it's difficult to say because, I mean, arguably the only reason why Hamilton would be at the back would be for the same scenario, but is it a good indicator in terms of talking about with or without DRS? There's multiple factors in there that you've got to kind of go, arguably he'd probably do the same.
I was watching it thinking it is very difficult because we all know Mercedes do struggle in the dirty air, and Bottas was obviously hindered with DRS.
Without DRS.
Without DRS. Part of me was thinking, if that was Charles or Max, they'd have probably been about 6th in the first 10 laps because
which they have displayed,
which they have shown in the past. They behind someone and they never wait for the next corner. They're just decisive down the inside or outside, whatever, and they make the move stick. Bottas hasn't had that in his game. However, it still was a good drive.
I was going to say in his defence. Yes, again, in his defence. Mercedes were predicting that he'd get up to 5th, and that was probably going to be his best result. And he reached 5th well before the end of the race. Yeah. But I can't remember what lap it was by the time he was 5th. But it was, he made up ground fairly quickly, but then it took him, because the gap at the front was so huge, by the time he got to 5th, the gap to then get up to the next level was just so huge. He was never going to catch up.
Well,
he was very close to Leclerc.
Yeah, he finished 4th. Yeah. And obviously he was chasing down Leclerc at the end, but it was just, it was...
Shame there wasn't one more lap because that would have been a tasty little fight. Although
I don't
you'd
think it
argue
would have been
DRS,
tested,
he
it
would
would
have
have
just
been done.
done in DRS, unfortunately. But maybe they should have turned it off again. For the
Yeah,
last lap.
just keep like switching it on and off depending
on what
It
happens.
should be like a fan vote. There you go. Turn
Well,
off DRS for this lap.
That would be
Yes or
actually
no?
quite good.
Like fan boost in Formula E.
Yeah, but to
Choose who
hinder the
gets
drivers. Oh yeah.
DRS.
Oh my. Have we just
We've just fixed that
captured
one.
it? This is it. This is the moment.
This is the
happened.
prediction.
This just happened. Oh my god.
In-
Put bets on it. It's
In
happening.
10 years' time, we'll be playing this podcast. And going, remember when we predicted DRS would be chosen by the fans?
Right, Tommy, your 3-word race review.
Mine is 2019 season summarised.
Oh,
Um,
that has a hint of salt.
No, I don't. I don't think it's perceived in the way you think it would
okay.
be.
Well, please explain as I smash my bottle.
The race and the whole weekend was basically F1 2019 in a nutshell for me in terms of the things that happened. So you had essentially a lot of promise that Mercedes, Ferrari and Red Bull would be close, and ultimately Hamilton and Mercedes
Were not.
and dominating and ending up a long way ahead of everyone else. Verstappen and Leclerc had another great battle, which kind of summarised their 2 seasons, that it's very much those two fighting for that future of F1, and that's something that's super exciting and gives a lot of people hope. I think that those two, had a really good on track battle
It was
again.
kind of the only battle
One of the only
worth talking about.
proper battles, I'd say, where it went back and forth a bit. Ferrari went full Ferrari mode with bizarre strategy, which they seemed to just make up as they went along. They tried a double stack pit stop, which they
Why?
fluffed up.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I still don't understand why they double stacked. It was almost like, right, Mercedes have done this.
Especially because Vettel was on different tyres as well, which was so he was on the softs.
He
and
was
Leclerc's
lucky
on
that
and they
he
pitted
had
at the same time.
It made more sense for Vettel to come in and Leclerc to stay out, surely,
Yeah.
because he was on the mediums. But
Yeah, then they tripped over each other in qualifying. So Leclerc, they messed up when they went out, and Leclerc couldn't get his lap. Vettel had some of his now signature spins in practice and qualifying, so that was another thing. And then the final thing, which kind of summed it up for me, was the midfield battle was epic, and the TV directors didn't show it. Particularly Carlos Sainz, I've written here as well. Carlos Sainz does something amazing, and we didn't get to see it. Not even a replay after the race. It was only Sky themselves, I think, for our broadcasters anyway, that showed that.
Because they were like, our guys back in the broadcast centre are desperately trying to dig it out of footage. It's just like, okay.
We're trying to dig out footage of a last lap battle, which
is
made
very
Sainz
clear.
I think
when it was.
It was another one of those races where the argument for split screen is
Yes, I've written
huge.
that in angry capital letters in my notes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even read your
Angry
notes.
capital letters, not
Well,
just
not
capital
angry,
letters.
but because to be fair, when I watched it back, that Sainz incident was exactly the same time Hamilton crossed the line. You can see the tower change as he crosses the line, so you go, well, they can't not show the leader at all, but split screen.
But so when I was in Mexico and I went to the broadcast centre and they gave me a tour.
Yep.
Thank you very much, F1. I did bring this up.
Why?
Yeah, I said why can't we do split screen? And their argument is that they're producing this feed for so many broadcasters that the broadcasters do have a say over how the feed is produced, that it would be too complicated to have multiple bits of action and the graphics and
let's put in
the tower.
More tyre graphics.
No,
then.
I know.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
guess the argument there is that the graphics are trying to explain what's going on screen, i.e. what you're watching is meant to, and the tyre graphic are meant to complement one another. If you've got two conflicting pieces of action, what are the commentary team going to focus on?
Whatever
I mean,
they
I think
want.
there is a way of
They should be trained for that.
Yeah.
Pick it.
I do get
as
that. I
Lewis
get
crosses
their
the
point.
line, we
I get
have-
their point. You've got because last race they didn't have this problem where the second Verstappen crossed the line, they cut straight to Gasly and Hamilton, which was great. They showed it straight away. But you can go split screen and you can say like Hamilton crosses the line as we're seeing Carlos Sainz, who's got the he's got the
Obviously,
move done.
it's easy to talk about split screen when it's someone crossing the line to win and an overtake. But if you've got overtake and overtake, I can understand. That's when it becomes confusing.
And
That's
then
when-
if you've got too many variables, i.e. we'd only use split screen if there was something boring going on and something exciting going on, then that's just another level of production choice, which would complicate complicate things a lot,
Yeah.
I think, and leaves a bit more margin for error. And I think also, well, I guess the other argument is Sky does split screen on its own broadcast. You know, when they throw it to interviews.
Practice, and they do it in practice a lot, where it's like Ted's down in the garage, and then they have like a shaky little camera at the side of.
But
the
I guess on
pit
practice,
crew where they can see
practice and even arguably like probably Q1, Q2, not that much is going on in terms of action. Whereas during a race, there's going to be multiple times for action. So. But during a race, they have thrown it to the pen when they're interviewing a driver that's DNF'd or crashed out or something. They have done that in the past, and for them, that doesn't seem to be a problem.
Yeah.
But I
this
think there is a way to do it
as well, where let's be honest, we're on our phones as well, messaging and talking about the race on Twitter and stuff. It's not that difficult to watch two things at once, especially if. One of them is a driver that you already know has won from the first turn, crossing the line to win.
We'd happily be guinea pigs. That's what I'm saying. If you want to test out split screen on us, we'll happily give it a go.
I think for me, split screen, as much as it would be confusing in some ways, is definitely feasible, definitely possible, and it could also bring another layer to the whole broadcast itself. So you've got two drivers racing, you could have a split screen where it's on boards of both of them. Like there's things like that where it would just give you that extra bit of immersion potentially. I'm not sure, but I think there's definitely a way in which you can show more than one thing.
Well, can't you do it in the F1 TV app? I'm sure. We're in the UK, so we can't see it or get it. But I'm sure, and guys that have access to F1 TV app, correct us if we're wrong, but I'm sure you can choose to have.
You can ride on board with anyone, I think.
You can ride on board with anyone, but then can you also get the world feed running at the same time?
Sure. You can do that Sky Red button as well. I think you can have like, I just want to watch the race from this on board, and then have the main feed at the bottom, and that's perfectly watchable. So
that's especially when not that good though, is it? Like that's the problem. Like I remember using that before. It's so solely focused on like the onboard.
Oh yeah, you need a second broadcast. Yeah.
I guess in the future when we've all got when TV programs can be basically decided by the viewer, a little bit like the Netflix Bandersnatch, right, where you choose your own route. I'm sure there will be
fans are choosing whether DRS is used, as we predicted earlier,
and only watching Carlos Sainz. That's probably going to be it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, let's move on.
One thing.
He's got his own sheet. Remember?
Did you watch
split screen?
Did you watch the highlights?
It's just screen in two.
Yeah, it is.
Two bits.
Did you watch the highlights video? Did you notice how they played the Carlos Sainz move and also Perez's on Lando's, and then had Crofty comment live to the incident? Because it goes and it plays the highlights, and then on the last lap it shows all those moves, and Crofty's commenting on it as if that's happened as live, and then it's Hamilton crossing the line. It's like Lewis Hamilton wins, what a race. So they've added that
it's
in
almost
afterwards.
Like when he had to do his commentary over again when he said that Raikkonen hadn't won for 200 years or whatever it was. Anyway, right, let's move on. Ferrari Nightmare Weekend. We mentioned it, Ferrari having a woeful weekend, summarising their 2019 season. Jess has just clicked on it, so I can't read the name. No. There you go. This because it comes up with the name, and then it just covered. Jaws, my man. What do you think about the way Ferrari was punished for their fuel rule violation? I saw Jess, you tweeted about it, saying that you felt like you were on top of it. Mm-hmm. So let's pass it over to you.
So basically,
everybody. Bullshit.
It was, okay. In a nutshell, no. So. All jokes aside, what they broke was a technical directive, which isn't technically a rule. So it's more about, it was an admin issue basically.
Right.
They didn't break any regulations. They didn't break any rules. There was an admin issue that said when they declared how much fuel was in the car, it then got poured out. So basically like the FIA can go around to any of the garages of any of the teams and go, I see you filled up your car there with fuel. Empty it out. And I'm going to weigh it. And then they'll, just to make sure that they're within the 105 kilos of fuel allowance. And so when they did that with Ferrari, what they'd reported was drastically different from what actually came out the car.
4.88 kilograms, I believe it was.
Yeah.
There we go. So after I saw a lot of people on Twitter going, how can they let him race? It could completely change the outcome.
Without really knowing what that actually would do to the car, right? They've just gone, this is wrong.
Yeah, so basically it's just an admin problem.
Yeah.
It's not what you've said doesn't match up with what's going on, but it wasn't found to be illegal. So when they then put it in Parc Fermé and did all the testing and whatever, it wasn't found to be illegal. It was just, you've cocked up here.
Yeah.
So
You've told us the wrong number.
have a fine.
Blah.
And the argument, a lot of people were commenting on how in 2014, Australia, Daniel Ricciardo got disqualified.
Yep.
But that was because they had broken a rule
Yeah.
and they were found to have had an advantage. And that was a rule rather than a directive.
Yeah, and it's clear to see that Ferrari had absolutely no advantage this week.
No.
I think the
Not
thing
quick.
that's got people triggered is the two key words of Ferrari and fuel, and the fact that these two, this whole fuel flowing scandal that has been going on all year, that no one really, only the FIA and Ferrari and maybe a few of the other teams will know the full story. It's just, people can make their own conclusions that, how convenient that it's Ferrari and fuel again, but we will just never know. And now the season's over, I just don't think we'll ever know what that whole issue was.
No,
and whether
no, I don't think Ferrari wants to.
And I will just say, if Ferrari had been leading the championship, or at least doing a lot better, I think that whole fuel flow saga would be a lot more of a shitstorm.
Yeah, but couldn't you say that?
It has been.
Because Red Bull surely would have been then like, come on. I mean, they're only a couple of 100 points behind. If they've been breaking rules week in, week out, surely the FIA can't go, it's fine, you're not winning, go on, have second.
Yeah, no,
I don't think it's probably
That's exactly how
simple.
the FIA works.
I should run it, right.
Yeah, no, it's just, I think it's just people were getting suspicious. I don't really have a clue what the fuel flow thing
Tommy doesn't have a clue,
so,
right.
And we'll never know, so
we will never know.
We will never know. Hopefully they turn up next year and can actually fight the whole season rather than being so fast and then just disappearing off a cliff for the next race.
Yeah. Well, no, they were off a cliff, then they were fast, then they were off a cliff again, weren't they?
Yeah.
Because Mercedes had how many in a row? 1, 2, 8? Was it 7 or 8?
God.
Like yeah, let's not.
We've
let's
forgotten
not talk
about
that.
that.
God,
That feels like
that's
forever
a
ago.
year ago.
Yeah, that feels like
a different
last
season,
season.
doesn't it? Yeah.
It was one long nightmare ago.
Thank God for those races to save this season. Right, my 3-word race review is change the finale. Please, that's an additional added thing away from the 3-word review because my God,
sadly whispers, please.
It's just
No, you say okay, as an event, as a location, as a circuit in terms of its facilities and infrastructure, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah. But
And
none of that comes across on television.
none of
apart from fireworks.
Exactly that,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's immaculate. It looks good on camera. It's dramatic going from like sundown to night, and that for me, for that to be the end of the season, is great. But the racing is just such an anticlimax that it's pants.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it doesn't deserve a spot in the calendar. It absolutely does. And whether it's a case of having it as the penultimate race of the season, sure. But I don't think Formula One season should be ended on somewhere where it's pretty much guaranteed, unless
Guaranteed that they
the
can't
entire field
overtake.
is like that.
Yeah.
But we've had, how many title deciders have we had at Abu Dhabi in the 10 years?
2, 3, 3.
I mean,
Yeah,
actual title
3.
deciders. We
Yeah,
had one
3.
where Hamilton was so far ahead and
Rosberg retired.
Rosberg, yeah.
Okay, so 2 proper really good ones. And ironically, 2010
Yeah,
and
which is
2016. And the 2 key things was that no one could overtake. And that's what decided the title.
the only
good.
thing
Because Hamilton
yeah.
backed up the.
Hamilton's the tension,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
so
grid,
like
isn't it?
Alonso not being able to overtake Perez in 2010 and Hamilton backing up Rosberg so other people would overtake him but they still
And they
couldn't,
still couldn't.
even though he was driving at 10 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
he was literally driving like 4 seconds
That last
slower or
that
something.
last corner is something I will never forget when like he comes round and they're genuinely like this close together and still no one can get him to the
I
line.
can't
That was amazing just for the tension, but it
It was
wasn't
good,
good.
but what we're still talking about it now.
Yeah, but that's
But
nothing
all
to
for
do
the
with
wrong
Abu
reasons.
Dhabi. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Well,
like,
They could have done
Yeah,
that. at
thanks for
Brazil.
slowing down, Lewis.
I mean, yeah, I hated that race, but
My
it was
my key beef, we were talking about it, I think maybe yesterday, that was even when there's quite exciting on-track action, I don't know what it is about Yas Marina circuit, but I think it's maybe like slow speed corners. There's something about it that's just not exciting.
It looks good, but the corners aren't exciting. I don't think there's one exciting corner in the entire track.
We were saying that it also looks slow on TV, and it's not.
Yeah, it's that third. As soon as they get past the only thing I like is that they've got that long straight. Then there's the chicane, and then another long straight, and the person gets DRS that had been overtaken and can often have a go back. That's
which
quite good. But then that whole third sector is a bit like Sochi, where it's 90 degree, 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 90 degree.
Why?
And then it just looks so dull to watch.
Yeah.
And they're cruising through like that hotel section, and even the bad races at Spa and Silverstone, it's like a spectacle because they're sparking going through high speed, fast corners, and it looks incredible.
Yeah.
But there's something about...
Well, they're sparking down past the Marina Grandstand. When they go past the Marina Grandstand,
which one's that?
Down to the
first
straight.
Yeah,
and they're going down into that, and that's a good overtaking spot. It's a big braking area.
I'd like
they
them
spark
to do,
like crazy down there, but it's just that's
I like the first corners as well. I'd like them to do those first corners, the fast left right, and then cut that chicane completely, and go straight into the braking zone, and then people would try and dive bomb down the inside of there as well.
Yeah, there's too many slow sections.
It's a
track,
lot.
really, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly.
Compentiner boy says, which race was more boring, France or Abu Dhabi? I don't think that's really in question. It's got to be France. Abu Dhabi was much better in a lot of ways. That France was probably the worst race in the modern era.
Have you seen that they're looking to make considerable changes to the French GP track?
Is it in Manicourt?
Do it again, or what changes are they making?
I think it only came out just before we started recording,
right?
So I didn't have a chance to see exactly what they were saying, but they are looking to make changes.
I mean, they've got like 234 layouts or something ridiculous off the Paul Ricard circuit. Surely one of them can work. Just test them all, please.
Yeah. I remember, seeing those. There's hundreds, isn't there? One of them has to be good.
They should they've got enough space even to add a Joker lap.
Yeah.
And like just have so for one lap you just got to
F1
be
2020 Joker lap.
World RX for one Grand Prix a year.
That would be interesting. And they have to go off road. There you go. In an F1 car. That would
We've written an article, that is in Dan's article about what would be the best layout. And I think for Abu Dhabi it's like use the World RX track there.
That World RX track is
good.
With
the massive like curves that they have as well.
Yeah.
Which flips. It actually flipped World RX cars. And they've got this huge jump that I remember the first time one of the drivers went and did it on a demo lap. He actually almost broke his back because he went at it full throttle, got so much air, landed, and he was just like,
spine.
My spine.
That's horrible.
But it was great on TV.
Yeah, it looked great for everyone else.
Brilliant.
Just didn't feel good for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's no argument about France or Abu Dhabi. It's weird because France probably is one of the least good-looking tracks when you look at it because of all of the stripes and
iconic,
dazzling.
You can't argue that it's iconic.
You don't
that
forget
it.
Isn't iconic.
You
don't forget it in a while, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then
you
Abu
want
Dhabi
to forget it, but you don't forget it.
Yeah, and you can't argue that Abu Dhabi isn't one of the most amazing looking, as you say, with all the yachts. It is a Monaco, but without so many walls. It is that kind of spectacle. But do we need any more spectacles? Do we? We just want good racing.
Well,
right?
I think every F1 track should bring something to it.
Should have a unique character, but unfortunately, that unique character should be the circuit layout, not here's a yacht, here's a hotel.
Yeah, because it's the exact reason why I think the only thing that Monaco really brings is the glamour.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
And it's been around for 1 year, and it should always stay on the circuit calendar.
And maybe the swimming pool section.
Yeah, but Abu Dhabi has that Tilka problem where it's high speed first sector, medium speed second sector, slow speed third sector, and they're all the same. Like I think Korea was the same.
Korea.
What was the
that was a bad track, wasn't it?
The India, the one in India was the same.
All of
them
out there racing there recently. Have you seen that in the some? What is it? What's he racing in?
Formula X or something? It's
and there's
some
like a
weird Formula
Bangladesh
series.
team or something he's racing for. To be fair, a load of people. Did you see the stories?
At 9 a.m. it
Grandstands,
was
Yeah.
completely
chocker.
packed. That's more than
It was a
F1
really well
probably got.
attended. I think it was quite a well attended race, but unfortunately, it just flopped.
Yeah, flopped, unfortunately. Right, back to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Driver of the Day
Sadly.
is our next topic. Desh010 says, opinions on Hulkenberg getting Driver of the Day.
I hate pity votes.
Yeah.
I hate pity votes.
There was also a second part of this question that I didn't include
What
He
was
said-
it?
he
Go
said
on,
something
go
like-
on, Tommy.
but why does Tommy not like it when people vote for other things other than Driver of the Day?
What do you mean?
Like other reasons for them winning.
As in, like,
Driver of
Well,
the
why-
because it's
why-
called Driver of the Day.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I guess like the argument is they're all drivers, but it doesn't say
So
like
what is
driving,
the-
like as in it's not driver the verb, it's driver the noun.
Right.
So it's like Driver of the Day. There we go. And why does Tommy dislike voting based on other factors other than performance?
Because we're watching a sport.
And
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
non-podium of the career award.
Oh, savage. I thought I was being savage. Yeah. But
Yeah, it just, I don't know. I know a lot of the community were behind it and they're like, oh, we did this, we did this community, blah, blah, blah. I mean,
what a great community
whatever.
that
Like,
we've
it doesn't
awarded a guy who finished 12th and finished behind his teammate a Driver of the Day.
And Porky Bitzer. I mean, think about him.
Exactly.
I was gonna
He's
say,
had
I'm
a much more
surprised.
decorated career and,
And came back with a huge injury and
Yeah.
did an amazing job considering
considering
what
everything
he
that's
had to
happened.
go through. So technically, they should have, if you guys who did vote for Hulkenberg, you should have actually evened out the votes entirely, so they both won.
50-50.
Like exactly, they should have managed the votes, but
You know how
didn't,
they balance the likes to comments.
yes,
Everyone should have.
Yeah,
everyone
they
should have
have done
balanced
that.
out the percentages so that
So
it would
the
have to
actual
split
driver
it.
of the day,
Was Lewis Hamilton.
oh,
Even
here
though it's
we go.
boring,
Here
but
we go.
Well, he got a grand slam, didn't he?
yeah, exactly.
Grand Slam.
Slam.
Oh,
His
is
sixth
that different to a
or something.
slam or was it?
Yeah, it's called
Yeah.
the Grand Slam,
Grand slam.
Schlemmo.
Yeah.
which
'Cause
means
everyone-
you
'cause
lead
people were
every
saying-
lap.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a full house, right? Every lap.
Pole,
pole,
fastest lap.
Fastest lap.
And
FP1,
yeah.
FP2, FP3.
Yeah, I think it's everything, right? You
No, I
lead in-
don't think it is. I think it's just
That's the
It's
Grand
pole.
Slam. That's the Grand Slammerino.
Slam
Yeah,
around.
yeah. No. Sorry, we're
Okay.
getting confused
But
there.
yeah,
But
grand
yeah,
slam.
because leading every lap is obviously quite difficult as well because of pit stops and stuff. It's quite rare. I think it's only Hamilton's sixth in his career.
Slam. Wow.
Schlem.
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 Spelled
Grand
Chelem.
Slam. Schlem.
I know the first
Okay.
time I heard of it, I was like, someone's taking the
That's
piss
wrong.
here.
Yeah,
Grand
I
Slam,
remember
come on.
thinking it's called Grand Slam, surely.
So Hamilton, yeah, fair enough. He did have a fantastic weekend, considering he usually never turns up after he wins a championship. The only time he had one before that was when he lucked into it in Brazil when Verstappen got murked by Ocon.
Yeah,
And
got
to be
force
fair,
injured.
Hamilton finishing a
I know,
season strongly.
He's been rubbish for my predictions so far.
Yeah, that's very
I
true.
know.
God damn you.
Yeah,
What did he
so-
finish? What, like 80,
cool.
Maths.
86
80
points
something.
clear in the title?
Of Bottas, yeah.
Yeah,
I
wow.
mean, wow, that's
87.
the trouncing, that is. And he
Yikes.
beat his previous total by 4 points, didn't he, as well?
And considering
Absolute
he's-
domination. To
But
say
it, but it wasn't, because if you look at like how many poles he's got, and it's been
Hmm.
He
a
had five poles, is it?
he hadn't won a race from pole position since Paul Ricard.
yeah.
He hadn't won a race since Germany from Brazil, wasn't it?
So
Not Germany.
No,
Not
he's won
Germany.
a few.
He didn't win in Germany.
You
Max
mean
won in
pole?
Germany.
He hasn't had a
Pole.
pole.
Sorry, he
since,
hadn't had a pole.
yeah,
since
hasn't had a
Germany.
pole
I was
since
gonna say he
Germany.
didn't win
Yeah.
in Germany,
Yeah.
mate. Shut up. Yeah. Okay. So we all agreed that Hamilton was driver of the day.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
And Hulkenberg wasn't. Good
And he-
driver.
Hulkenberg was
Nice
anywhere
career.
near it.
But
Well
I think
done,
it was,
but-
we were talking about this at lunch yesterday. Guido van der Garde
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
tweeted about how his favorite thing about social media is how the teams will put out this amazing post about how much they love the driver. Like he's the best driver. He's so strong. He's so committed. Now piss off.
Yeah.
Like get off you go. Where's Esteban? Now it's all about Esteban.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
'Cause
how they
he's
had like a whole
testing.
group photo of wigs of Hulkenberg
Yeah.
and
It's
all
like
this-
the
Bye.
whole Twitter thing. I think we shared something similar that was, Renault and Racing Point are sharing gifs with each other, going, "Oh, we're having a great time," and then it's Renault tries to ban Racing
Yeah,
Point
yeah.
with
Yeah.
illegal brake bias.
It was the other way around, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
Racing Point that
Sorry,
reported Renault.
Yes.
But yeah, it's all like on social media, it's all like, oh my God, lovey. And everyone knows.
The
If
second,
he was that good, you'd be keeping him.
Exactly. It's the
Yeah.
equivalent of getting fired from your job and then having an amazing ceremony. This person was incredible at their job. But unfortunately, they have to leave because they didn't do their job.
Here's your
Goodbye.
P45.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Jog on.
Oh dear.
There we go.
Very funny.
Right.
But yeah, Guido was on fire this weekend.
Guido is...
Guido
that whole
Bantagarda.
broadcast just absolutely baffles me with Ziggo and stuff. It's madness what they come out with, isn't it? It's just... It's us times 100.
The Ziggo interview with Kvyat where he was doing the I'm a Roman Grosjean. I'm crashing all the time. It's so funny.
And then you sent me the thing of the... What was it?
Yeah, someone had done
That
it
music
to
video.
some music video. But very impressive that Kvyat can, as a Russian driver, can do a mock French accent in
Very well.
English. That is very impressive.
Okay, right, let's move on.
Languages.
We're going to interrupt this WTF1 podcast very quickly for a chat about our sponsor of this episode, ExpressVPN, who we have had previously for a lovely episode, maybe 4 races ago,
Something like that.
something like
But they're still around.
that. They're still around.
We're still
and,
using it.
We are still very... Well, I don't know. Are you using it right now, Jess?
I am using it right this second.
Jeez. Why do you use it right now?
To watch
what's the
Ziggo
reasoning?
Sport.
Genuinely to watch Ziggo Sport on Twitter because
Oh, yeah,
they
the media block thing.
they
don't you?
geo-target their Twitter, but it is top quality banter. So I use it. I log into Amsterdam, and then
Wow.
I can watch the Twitter videos.
There you go. You can watch
Boom.
Ziggo Sport. We won't be travelling for work too much now that the F1 season is over. But that doesn't mean that we don't head off for our holidays or you struggle to watch Ziggo Sport. And this is something that ExpressVPN can bypass with the restrictions that you see, or if you want to watch your favourite show or whatever. And you can get set up in under 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
It's really easy.
How easy was it, Jess?
I did it in less than 10 minutes.
Did you time yourself?
Tommy timed me.
What was the timing? All right, anyway, and enjoy HD streams as well. ExpressVPN works on your computer, phone, router, and consoles like Fire TV, so you can watch from any device. And don't be worried about using it either, as the app encrypts all of your data, keeping it safe and sound. If you want to get involved, which Jess is a key player in the game of ExpressVPN.
I'm an expert.
And Jess very much recommends it. I've used it before as well. And if you do want to get involved, use the special link today to get 3 months free at expressvpn.com/WTF1. That's expressvpn.com/WTF1 for 3 months free with a 1-year package. Head over to the link to learn more, which we'll put in every description / wherever you're listening / watching. Right?
And thanks
Cool.
for supporting us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, without that,
We won't be here.
without the sponsored stuff that we've done, this podcast, we don't have to worry about it. We can just do it. It's easy, isn't it? It's like
Easy.
Get a bit of money and do podcast. Easy. Right, let's get back to everything F1. And Tommy's getting ready because he's not ready. But I didn't have to remind him. What time is it, Tommy? Oh, for God's
I
sake.
went on-
You even
right.
sent it to me on WhatsApp.
I sent it
Last
to you,
last
and that's the
race.
last message.
Last race. You'd think. What is it?
I told him to hurry up, you little, and then something. Right.
We love each other at WTF1. Tommy, that wasn't the full thing.
Yeah. Right, let's try that again. Right, back to all things
you didn't
F1. Thank
send
you,
me
X.
a few-
Shut up. Right, thank you, ExpressVPN, for sponsoring this podcast. Right, let's go. Are you physically unwell?
Why do we? Why?
Why can't we just put it in afterwards?
Just put it in afterwards.
No,
I will.
No,
I
we need to
can't
do it
do
like
that.
this because it's beautiful. Right, thank you so much, ExpressVPN, for sponsoring this podcast. Let's get back to everything Formula One.
Now it's time for ABCDF1.
Right.
That was worth it.
It's everybody's favourite part of the show.
Tommy. Well, let's get into the ABCDF1. Mercedes, Lewis, Hamilton.
A-star.
A-star, yeah.
A-star. Well, lovely.
Gotta be, isn't it?
Yeah,
gotta be.
lovely drive, lovely turning of the wheel, accelerating, braking. It was gorgeous, wasn't it? Extended those mediums for a good 29,000 laps.
He was
it
so
very
chill,
good.
wasn't he? He was just
Yeah.
like,
There
they're
was no
like,
complaining.
Lewis, we're gonna extend, and he's like, yeah, cool, not a problem.
I mean,
Tires feel good.
when he's that far ahead, he is chill, isn't
He was
Yeah.
he was still like demanding info though, wasn't he? He was still like, what about this? Or was.
what we're going to have for dinner tonight. That sort of stuff. Yeah. Didn't really care. But yeah, A star for Lewis Hamilton. Valtteri Bottas.
B?
B.
Yeah.
I think if he'd got a podium, it would
If you'd got a podium in A, yeah.
But
could have got
just-
through the
just
field
missed out.
quicker.
Well, look at this. We're being in agreement. First
Just
two,
going on.
full agreement. Ferrari, Sebastian Vettel.
D.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, no, he was nowhere.
He was nowhere all
this
weekend. He should have passed Max on
Spun
the
in
softs.
qualifying.
Spun in qualifying. Should have passed Max on the softs because Leclerc got past him and Vettel was arguably on a better tyre.
No,
20
arguably.
Oh, not
Definitely.
arguably. Definitely on a better
Jesus,
tyre.
come on, Tommy.
20 seconds
Do you not
behind
read the
Leclerc
Delta?
as well.
Yeah.
20 seconds.
I mean, I know he had a slow pit stop, but that was only 4 seconds lost. So still very much
Yeah.
off the pace. I think a D is deserved.
Yeah,
D is
unfortunate
deserved.
for him because he looked like he'd got his mojo back, but
Nowhere. I mean, he did arrive late to the paddock. Congratulations, Sebastian. I'm sure you're an avid listener of this podcast.
Of course.
For your
I
third
did
child.
think that was very, very unfair by the media to give him such a hard time for not being there on Thursday.
by media you mean Andrew Benson.
Yes.
Oh,
but
I
it
still
was
haven't-
the headlines were he's not turned up because he doesn't want to answer about his clash with Leclerc in the previous race.
Yeah.
But if Hamilton's
having a child.
if Hamilton's
Yeah.
like, oh, I've got a dodgy tummy, it's like, yeah, we respect the fact that
Lewis,
you're
take
an
the rest of the
athlete.
week off, mate.
You're an
All right?
athlete, mate. It's fine. We understand.
Also,
and then Vettel's made to
yeah.
out. He's just had a freaking child.
Yeah. Vettel telling his wife, sorry, I'm going to miss the Beth. I need to talk about this Leclerc incident from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay, no worry, darling.
But I don't know
Okay,
why.
fine.
Why are people making such a big? I think we did speak about it in Brazil. Why are people making such a big deal about this whole coming together of the Ferrari
It's
guys?
really not necessary. It just shows that it's coming to the end of the season. They're trying to spice something up into the off season.
They're trying to hit their page view quota
Yeah, they just don't. It's just there's no need
for their Christmas bonus.
keep doing it, but there's nothing happen. Just keep doing it. Keep plugging
going.
away.
Clickbait, right?
Yeah,
Gotta be all about that clickbait.
baiting those clicks. Right, so Sebastian Vettel, we're going to go with a D.
I would say harsh, but okay.
Yeah.
Harsh, but okay. That's still an agreement. Charles Leclerc.
B.
Ooh, Matthew's
Why?
gonna go for
I was
a
going to say,
C.
do you see that I was going to give him an A? No.
I think B. Good
Yeah,
call.
it was. You got past. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's very difficult because you obviously have. Well, at least I have this perception that Ferrari is good, but now I feel like they've fallen off so much now in the last few races that
Yeah.
maybe Charles' performance was actually okay, and it deserves a B.
I think a B.
Okay,
I think he deserves a B.
Jess, B.
Okay.
He was a long way ahead.
I
of
feel
his
like I'm just
teammate.
like I'm so done with
What were you
arguing
gonna
with
say?
you guys about this.
What
That
were
I'm
you
just
gonna
gonna
say?
go. No, I'll go. Yeah, B. He did better than Vettel, and I was
He
going to
did.
give Vettel a C. So I
Okay.
guess I've got to give him a B.
All right, Red Bull, Max Verstappen. Here we go. Go on, Tommy. What are you going to say?
A. Not A star.
Good. No, it wasn't an A-star performance,
No.
but it was decent.
Is
And
it one of-
he was managing, obviously, because it was really. I loved the fact that he referred to it as a torque hole. He said, "I've got a torque
Yeah.
hole at the start of my my throttle map," and I was just like, "What on earth is a torque hole?" I don't think that's
A
like.
whole of the talk.
Well, yeah, I got that far, Matty. Thanks very much.
No worries.
I know I'm not an engineer, but I think I just about managed that one. But I thought he managed it quite well.
Yeah. He got. It was another one of the races where he got everything out of the Red Bull.
I just
that
love
he
how he
could-
was complaining all the time and catching Charles Leclerc at about 2 seconds a lap.
Yeah.
Going, "I've got no power,
It was the
I'm
same
getting
as
lag, I'm
Austria.
Yeah, it's,
He did it
it's
in
just
Austria,
complaining. Okay, you passed Charles Leclerc. It's just- But-
Also, I don't know if this says more about how good F1 drivers are or how much they're not doing enough anymore.
the whole multi.
How he could tell that Ferrari were pitting because he heard the wheel
team
guns
radio.
in the background of his team radio.
But
Yeah.
I think I can't remember who said this, so apologies to one of the TV broadcasters. But someone was saying that I think it was David Coulthard. They were saying that part of being a driver is about knowing your full workspace. In
Yeah,
that,
true.
any kind of insight or information that you can gain about what your competition is doing, you need to be able to take it. So as much it is quite funny and humorous that he could tell from
It was a
background
funny
noise
bit
what was
of team
going
radio,
on.
yeah.
But obviously his engineers would have told him that anyway. But the fact that he instantly knew that, then it would probably have adjusted the way that he was planning out the rest of his race. So
Yeah.
I think it just goes to show that he is... Right, okay, I'm not going to say he's going to be world champion based on the fact that he has ears.
But he has the capacity
He has
in his
ears.
brain. doesn't he?
He's got eagle
He's
ears.
got eagle ears.
Jesus, that phrase needs to be put in.
I'm sorry, it was a mistake. But yeah, like it's good. I'm gonna end that there. I don't know why,
It's good.
I, don't
It's
know why I
good.
felt the need to
It's
add on
good.
to that.
It is
It's
good.
like drivers that they're driving around and they say, "Oh, I knew I was fifth because I saw it on the big screen."
Yeah,
And a lot of people go, "How did you do that?"
Yeah.
But
they have
they
eyes,
say
Yeah.
they have eyes.
and those screens are big.
Yeah.
Anyway,
guess,
Alex Albon. So we give Max an A. Alex Albon RD.
Oh, I don't think he did as badly as
It's
Vettel.
difficult. It's a really difficult one because
How far behind Max Verstappen did he finish?
a long way
Yes,
behind,
exactly.
nearly a
That's-
minute.
That's why
It's
I wanna call it.
it's
Call him
difficult
Deacon.
because this is going to
Yikes.
contradict myself, and I'm
Here we
going to
go.
say it. So
Go on then.
I'm
Comment section,
ready
get
for
ready.
the comment section. Sebastian Vettel finishing a long way behind Charles Leclerc. He's Sebastian Vettel. He's a 4-time world champion. Alex Albon finishing a minute behind Max Verstappen. He's come in halfway through the season in a Red Bull as a rookie. Gasly was
Nope.
absolutely terrible in that Red Bull. I think it's a C.
he's doing the bare minimum of what is expected of him.
Yeah,
As-
and
as
he
in
needs a
finish-
full season.
finish
He needs a
sixth.
full season from winter testing to see how
How
he
far
really
behind
is.
Vettel
I
did
did.
he finish?
His
5 seconds.
Yes, I think he should have at least beat Vettel in that fight. He
I
lost.
thought
it
he put
pretty
up a
much
good
the minute
fight.
Vettel turned up.
No, he came back at him.
Yeah, I mean, he outbraked himself and was like, "Oh God!" and then Vettel got him. Without Vettel's intuition, that would have been a crash, without a doubt.
But we said that about Hamilton before on other moves. Like those boys are well seasoned in every way.
Lots of salt
like
and
a
pepper.
steak.
Yeah. But that you expect that from them, and you expect the rookies to be a bit more all over the place. So I don't know.
C.
Okay, all right. See,
See,
fine. See, cool. All right. Renault, Daniel Ricciardo.
disappointing race for Renault. Out of the points.
Difficult end to the year for him, really.
Yeah.
Did they both get shafted by pitting too early?
They were
And-
with the McLarens, weren't they? There was a nice little
Yeah.
four-way sandwich.
They were in like a stalemate, weren't they? Just nothing happened for a long time.
and then
And then the Racing Points came along and just went, see ya.
See you later.
yeah, because they went long on the first stint, didn't
Yeah.
they? And then they the amount of times-
Disappointing from Renault. Disappointing year, really, for Renault. I know
God, we're not
this
grading
is,
Renault. Jesus.
Yeah, Ricardo
hard to
pitted
judge.
early, didn't he? He only did a 2-stopper. Hulkenberg did a 1-stop.
Right. Yeah.
C. Just an average.
For both of them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't see them enough, did we?
See them enough. We'll see them enough now with 2 C's. Thank you very much.
God, right. Okay, we'll give them 2 C's just so
You
we
thought
can move on
Eagleears
from
was
this.
bad.
Yeah. This is as I've already said.
It's been a long
I've
season.
got the
End
Christmas
of the
cracker
season.
jokes out early.
Yeah, it's like what, the 3rd of December. Yeah. Haas, Romain Grosjean.
D. A long way
Done.
behind Magnussen.
He was shafted by Bottas and then didn't really recover from that.
Yeah, didn't he say that he had a great car setup and then Bottas
Yeah.
smashed him?
He
and
had a
he had
new
old
floor.
spec
Yeah.
floor after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't like after that. It just what are they going to
We
do?
gave Bottas
Yeah.
a B, and he ruined someone else's race. Shocking.
He was poor there,
Why
wasn't
don't
he,
you put this
Roman?
into consideration, Tommy, about the fact that Bottas ruined Grosjean's race?
Where did Grosjean finish? Grosjean finished 15th and qualified 15th.
God, that's the biggest D I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What?
I think
we
that's
need
our
to clip
Instagram
that.
promo.
We have to clip that.
That's
Oh,
our
I completely forgot. I didn't even realise.
that's
what I
our
just
Instagram
said.
promo.
That's usually my role. But Matty, you've got well and truly got there.
Oh, jeez. I can't believe I've not said that like at all.
I mean,
and then
I didn't know you
just
knew
came out of
Grosjean
nowhere.
that well, but
We
okay.
parted in the Amber Lounge, I'll tell you that. So, wow, okay.
Kind of
I would
time.
like... No, oh, God, I was about to say I'd like to give Roman a D. I would like to grade Roman Grosjean the letter D. Okay?
Oh my god!
Is that okay?
For our awards ceremony, can we please give the biggest euphemism or innuendo cock up ever? I think
Jesus.
that's definitely up there.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's over. Kevin Magnussen. Oh wait, no. Did we agree with D?
We'll give Grosjean the D.
I
just
feel
wanna
like we
move on.
can't give him anything
Yeah.
else
Was it a
now.
big D?
We've
That's
got to
what I
give
wanna
him
know.
a big D. Yeah.
Okay.
We give Grosjean the big D.
I'm saying nothing.
Okay, perfect. Kevin Magnussen.
C. Yeah, he finished 20 seconds up the road from Grosjean. You don't want to give Magnussen
I
the
still
D?
can't get over what I said. Okay, C for Magnussen. Okay. Yes?
C.
Yeah, C.
God, let's get this over
We
and
need
done
to
with.
get, yeah.
McLaren, Carlos Sainz.
B, I think.
Ooh. He did a beautiful move to win sixth.
It was a
championship.
beautiful move.
It was a title clinching move. He said it felt like,
Yeah, it was awesome. But
then he got beat
did
by Lando, and he didn't have a great
and
race.
out-qualified by Lando as well,
Okay.
which I was very surprised about because Lando beat him in qualifying this year.
B,
So it's very
okay.
impressive.
Now Lando as well.
I think a B for Lando.
I think
It
Yeah.
would
as
have been
well.
an A if he'd have
Had
held
he kept
Perez
Perez.
off. But it
That was a great battle, though,
it
wasn't it?
was.
Yeah.
He admitted himself that he was far too soft on Perez.
His
Should have run him out wide.
His
more.
Skypad bit
really
was
good.
really good. I genuinely was glued to every second of it.
Yeah,
He
he's
was
great, isn't
really,
he?
really entertaining. And did you see on the F1 what's it called? Paddock Pass. Lawrence starts off by saying Perez has just said that that move on you was the best of his
Oh,
career,
yeah.
and he's like, as if I let him have the best move of his career, which I found very
Oh,
entertaining.
bless him. There was a lot of
So-
Lando moments, wasn't there? Including
Twitter erupted
the
Yeah.
saying,
team radio as well.
"Oh, that team! After that team radio, everyone was like, protect this man at
Yeah.
all costs." Can we
Yeah.
call him a man yet?
No,
Not quite.
Still a boy. He's 19.
What?
Isn't he?
Good
20.
Oh,
year.
no, turned 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still a
Yeah,
boy.
B.
B. Yeah, B.
B.
Racing Point, Sergio Perez, A.
Yeah.
Yes,
A.
100%. Another one of.
Ooh.
Did I
Yeah.
just drop the star in?
Oh, did you drop the star
I
in?
dropped it.
It's really tempting because again,
Just
Last
such
Stroll was
a
nowhere.
that
as well.
it's a performance where a Racing Point is absolutely no way the fourth best car in Formula One, and he's somehow ended up best of the rest and put in moves.
Where did he qualify? Was it 11th?
11th.
He started 10th.
He started.
Oh,
10th.
sorry,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
10th.
But then, yeah, he was on the softer, fresher tyres.
And
wasn't
Stroll,
he? He was
DNF.
nowhere. He was sat in like 16th, I think.
yeah,
when
because he
DNF'd.
crashed at the start.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, with Gasly. Oh, yeah, I'm going to put the A star out there. For
Perez, yeah, and another race where he is just unbelievable on tyres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you were allowed to do a no stop, he'd do one every race,
I think he went
Yeah.
second, second
yeah.
longest on the
Yeah.
first stint.
and
Did you
has
just
the
have another
pace.
gem there? I feel like that was another future prediction. If you're allowed to have
Oh,
zero
yeah.
stop races, Perez will win.
Okay, well remember, get the
Zero stop
timestamp down.
races soon announced.
Get the
feel like
timestamp in the comments so we can find it easily and take this time.
We're going to jinx this now.
Yeah, we've jinxed everything. Nothing's
Yeah.
coming true. But yeah, A star for me.
Cool.
Let's go A star. Yeah,
Let's
why
do it.
not?
Okay,
Perez,
Lance Stroll. Oh,
D.
E.
Oh,
He was nowhere.
he's just so
But then, yeah,
Yeah.
he did have that crash. Maybe D. Because that wasn't. Oh no, it was his fault. He locked up, didn't
yeah
he?
E.
E.
Yeah.
Wow. That
Didn't
was,
Gasly lock up too, though?
Yeah, but
Gasly locked up
Gasly locked
Gasly
up.
wouldn't have gone into the side of him.
Yeah,
it
he
was
was-
only because
because he was behind Perez, wasn't he, at the time?
First lap collision, though. I'm always a bit like,
It was a bit clumsy though, I think, from Stroll. Like, it was just
Yeah.
like, there wasn't any move on. He
Yeah.
just locked up and hit him.
okay, fair.
Let's
he
go
needs
with- let's
to
give
up
him an
his
E.
game.
Yikes.
Alfa Romeo. Oh god, did we see them?
Again,
I
it's-
don't remember seeing them apart
it's a
from that
classic
picture
Alfa
where it looked
race.
like they were starting on pole when F1 tweeted that they were joking about, you know, when they were doing the practice starts and they were like, oh.
Speaking
Alfa
of practice
No,
starts,
okay, good. Glad that I
What,
didn't.
what was that?
Don't worry, I'm not going to do it again. Jess.
our pal Raghunathan was in the
Oh,
news
yeah.
again. Sorry to go off ABCDF1. But
Yeah, I love how you say pal. Like, have we ever spoken to the man?
well, we joke that he's the king
He's the mean
because he's
king,
just that bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I love how there was a timing graphic error in the F2 race that showed that he had a fastest lap for about 15 laps. I was like, there's not a chance that
Yeah.
we're at racing speed now. Raghunathan has not set the fastest lap.
Exactly.
What are we giving Raghunathan? A star? Okay,
A
perfect.
star.
Brilliant.
For
We'll give him
memes.
one A
Yeah.
star, just his solitary A star in ABCDF1. Alfa Romeo, yes.
All right, so Kimi started 17th, finished 13th.
God, where have they got? I know we've said it a lot, but where have they gone?
Well, they finished P4 and 5 in Brazil.
Well, when 43 people DNF'd
Yeah,
and crashed.
But
exploded.
still, like they still had to, as we've said about Gasly being there, you've still got to be there, right?
Yeah. But
Still
then-
got to be there.
Yeah, but then they were there because of the safety car, whereas Gasly was always. Anyway, yeah, I know what you mean, but still, I think Alpha, like their pace
The only reason why
dead.
Sainz was there was because of the safety car and timing.
They're all there. 'cause the
They're
safety
all
car
there
is-
because of the safety car and timing.
Yeah, Alpha. Kimmy.
I reckon just a pair of
C.
C's.
Yeah. Antonio, what did
Yeah.
Oh no, Antonio had a bit of a
Worse
to do.
race.
he had a bit of a to do at the beginning, didn't he? Didn't he have a bit of a collision? Am I
Oh
recalling
yeah,
the
he
right
hit
race?
Kubica.
That was it.
I think a
that
D
was-
for
in the Middlesex, wasn't it?
when
F1.
you're losing a battle to a Williams, you that's a D. I
Well,
think.
why are you why? Yeah, why?
Yeah, C for Kimi, D for Antonio. Toro Rosso, Dan Kvyat.
B. Good race from him. Didn't torpedo anyone this
Yeah,
time.
terrible.
Almost
qualifying, didn't he?
torpedoed someone.
Oh no, did he have a good qualifying?
Did he?
I can't remember which car it was, but
I remember him.
it was a
he put in a good
ballsy
move.
move.
This time without contact though. Fair play to him.
But it was the exact same move.
It was Hulk, wasn't it? I feel
Yes,
like
it was.
Hulk,
It
yeah.
was
Yeah.
Hulkenberg. And the only reason why we're going, that was a nice move, was because there wasn't any contact. But it was the
Yeah.
exact same move he always
Yeah.
puts in. So
Fair play.
if we're going to be
50-50.
consistent,
He's a gambling man, that guy.
Yeah.
Let's give him a
B.
B.
Okay, B for him. And Gasly, very difficult to rate because of
U.
Wow.
No,
Well,
not,
as in,
not
like,
the savages and
ungradable.
ungradable.
Oh, as in we can't grade him.
We cannot grade. NA.
and
NAU.
his team just couldn't get the nose cone off. So
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just
Which we
you
saw
wouldn't
the
have
whole
known.
of.
Which is a shame because Toro Rosso were battling Renault. Which
Yeah,
is
they were. They were on the same points. Oh no, they
insane.
weren't. They were on the same points for the drivers, weren't they?
Yeah.
How close were they? They were a few points behind Renault at the
They
time.
ended up
weren't
10 behind Renault, I think, which is an incredible achievement for the resources that they have. No, 6.
6
points
points.
behind Renault. When
Mad.
they're formerly Minardi in a little shed in Italy and Renault have all the
I mean,
resources
Brazil
that
very
they
much
do.
helped that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tally.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So Daniel B, Pierre ungradable, but not in a bad way. Williams, George Russell. Did he beat
C.
Kubica in the
He
end?
did beat Kubica.
Yeah.
in the
Because
end.
he was behind Kubica for a lot of the race, I think,
He
until
was.
Kubica-
Giovinazzi and Kubica crashed.
Always seems to get ahead of Russell at the
Yeah.
start.
It's very odd, isn't it? Kubica's racecraft still there.
Still
Again,
got
like it's
it.
that same old. Like I don't know if
C
how do
for
we.
Russell, D for Kubica.
A for Kubica because he's left F1.
And we have to
Oh.
be nice.
He had a great pit stop where he didn't.
Oh,
crash
Should we
into
give him an
the
A
brakes.
star?
A double star. As soon as he didn't get the
No,
driver
because
of
then
the
he'll
day.
win the Olympic table.
Oh,
Oh,
shit!
yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do
Can't
that.
have that.
Can't do that. Pair of C. Right.
Okay.
Predictions for Abu Dhabi. I said Matt. Wow. I said Matt. I said Red Bull will be quickest again, which is. Oh, I mean, why did I say that? It's because I knew I'd wrapped up the title. It's fine. And there will be one or more safety cars in the race. Well, great predictions, Matt. You are just an idiot. I think that was more just wishful thinking. That was like, if I predict that, hopefully it will happen. Tommy, your two.
My two
Oh,
were.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wow. What a prediction. Hulkenberg or Kubica will win driver of the day with a pity vote. So that's the
Ding,
point.
ding, ding.
Correct. Yeah.
And Mercedes 1-2 to end the season how it started.
Incorrect.
Half a
Don't
point.
you dare.
Why?
1 point for
No,
Tommy.
because you said a 1-2 to end the season how it started.
Yeah.
And they were halfway there.
Living on a prayer. All right, Jess.
Oh, I had an absolute.
Oh,
I had an
God.
absolute. Yeah.
That's
You
a
did.
shocker if I've ever seen
I
it.
know. There'll be talk of how it rained last year. I didn't hear anything, so I can't take that.
I neither did I.
And I said Hamilton won't win.
Whew. He saw this podcast and he's gone, yeah.
Well, there you go. You're welcome.
Yeah.
For that bit of energy to drive you over the line. I don't know what I'm
drove you over
talking.
the
I
line?
do not. Please stop me talking.
Right, fans. Fake Vern 25. Toro Rosso will take fifth in the standings from Renault. No.
Incorrect.
XX Chinaski. Both Hulkenberg and Kubica will DNF. No. Veloci Esports. The conversation on Twitter all weekend long will be dominated by people saying that Brazil should be the finale. Yes.
Yes, it was.
Including me.
Well, are we going to say dominate?
I think it dominated. Please log in. I've forgotten my login.
Oh, on F. Okay, yeah. Right. Talk amongst yourselves.
What are you typing? What's that for?
Wait.
For the last feature.
Oh,
Just keep talking amongst
the F1
yourselves.
Fantasy.
Sorry. Fans'
Du-du-du-du-du.
predictions. Carry on.
No, we've
I
done them
finished.
all.
Okay.
And the final thing we're going to talk about is the fantasy.
Fancy F1 because we don't have predictions for the next race. We thought we'd
thought
check
we'd
our
go for-
fancy teams.
Yeah, I haven't looked in it for quite some time.
I haven't looked
I
in
hope
so
this is
long
the
I've
right
forgotten
account.
my login.
Cool. Yes. Here we go. So
Go on to
Leagues. joined, and then right. Cool. WTF1 official league.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Let's see. Go on verified because then it's.
Oh, Tommy's like, oh, we need to have a look at it. I wonder why.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Oh,
so
Matt, you got absolutely.
to be
Mert,
fair,
mate.
that was actually last time you checked, Tommy, we were all very close. Anyway,
were
let's
really
let's read it out. So for our F1 fantasy teams, Out of us three, we have Ian Poulter in our league as well.
And Dan,
Shout out
don't
to
forget
Ian.
Dan.
Don't forget
Dan
Dan.
as well.
It'd
Dan.
be easy to forget
But
Dan at the bottom.
But Dan very much chooses the worst team possible to get the lowest score possible. So Dan got 1,250 points over the course of the season. I got 2,969. Jess got 3,151. And Tommy got 3,237.
Which,
Did you change your team at all over the course of the season?
No.
yes, I think.
Did
Yes,
you?
Of course you did.
Yeah.
You king, though.
Only halfway
That's
through.
the only reason why I won.
Yeah.
Only halfway through.
To be fair,
Um,
you only beat Jess by, what, like 80 odd points or so?
Shout out to Dan, who finished in our group 127,915th.
Yeah, how many? There was 129,732 people in the WTF1 official fantasy league.
And Dan,
Dan
finished.
finished 1,300 or so from bottom.
Yes.
1,800 or so
Impressive.
from bottom. I mean, to be fair, if you look at his team, let's just have a quick gander at that. So he's got Lance Stroll, Romain Grosjean, Danny Kvyat, George Russell, Kevin Magnussen, and Williams as
And
his
can
team.
we just say that he's turboed Grosjean?
It's Turbo Grosjean. Lance Stroll scored him minus 13 points for the final round.
He turboed the wrong guy at the end.
And I'm pretty sure he's got about $70 million left in his...
Yeah.
Should we
he
shout
does.
out who won our
Bank.
fantasy team, just in case they're...
Oh yeah, who did win?
Did
All
in AMG.
all in
Oh.
AMG.
All in AMG.
Mercedes even win the blooming league.
3,893 points. Now, was that person in our league the one that won the overall? That's what I want to know. How do we check that in a way that's very simple and easy to do on a podcast? I've really set the... Okay, hold on. Global League. Here we go. The best person ever... PM4... What? So the Global League, PM4 Life, 3,870 points.
And ours 38893. Right, there we go. It's a fix.
So we won.
We've just discovered,
One
guys.
of the people...
We've just discovered that the F1 Fantasy League is a fix.
Wow,
Yeah.
breakthrough.
They've just deleted
Breaking
someone from our WTF1 league. Anyway,
Breaking
that
news.
is it. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening/watching over the course of the season. It's been fantastic. It's
been emotional.
This is 21 of these bad boys down now. Did we have a pre-season one? I can't remember.
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
And we will be doing a postseason one, an awards one, hopefully, or something of similar kind to last year. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully we'll have a special guest as well. And that is pretty much it.
Can you believe we've done 21 of these?
Can you believe we've done how many in total of these?
Yes.
Yeah, no, third full season of doing this.
Including that time
Did we-
when
we've
we've
done
done
three-
nearly
Oh, no, two
100
full
I
seasons.
was
podcasts.
going to say, so we've
Two
done
full seasons.
42 podcasts, which is we've spent 42 hours together talking about races.
If not more.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. Then there's just us spending time together talking about the races. Right, thank you so much for watching/listening. Make sure you give us a 5-star review. It's the final race, so if you don't, then it's Christmas. Jesus, literally. And also thank you to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this podcast. And that is it. Thank you very much to Jess and Tommy. We won't be talking about any races until Australia now, apart from our little post-season thing. So that's it. We're done. Say goodbye, both of you.
I'm sad.
Goodbye.
That's not goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye. Oh, yeah, and sorry for the GoPro. I just realised. We're using a GoPro. That was... Yeah. That's just us. Okay? We just have things that are occurring. Okay?
I love the way anyone that is bothered by it would not have got to the end.
It's fine.
God.
It's either that right now or audio. And we all know how you feel about audio. Bye.